She is well known in Germany and as well in Europe because she's the first professor, the female professor in game design. Actually, she's professor in the University of Trier, and she's not only active there as a professor, but everything she does is talking with a lot of people, trying to convince them that game design is more than just playing things. And she does it lots of times in the German television, and I guess sometimes she had some really hard discussions with certain people not aware that gaming is as huge as that. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Dr. Linda Breitlauch, she will talk about the rules of magic.
Okay. Budi, thank you very much. Okay, you're still here? Great. I'm really impressed. It's so late and you're still here. So, watching this stuff there, oh, that was hard for me to see, to be true, because yeah, the one thing, login, this was a terrifying discussion. I will never forget. And I had my first meme in my life. Okay. Thank you very much, Daniel, for the introduction. And my topic will be rules of magic, not runes, rules of magic. This is important. And yeah, you laughed. I took this picture because of the reason to show you what is an invisible wall. This is a so-called invisible wall because you cannot go through the wall, of course. Yeah, this is typical for some video games. Maybe for a lot of video games, but normally it's not this obvious, like you can see it here. But I come to this a little bit later. I start with a simple rule set. You know this. This is rock, paper, scissors. I think everybody knows this. It's very primitive but very successful rule set. But I'll show you an add-on. I think you know it very well. This is this one, rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. And with this goes a problem. And I show you the problem with a film trailer.
How about we go rock, paper, scissors?
Ooh, I don't think so. I suggest rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. Scissors cuts paper. Paper covers rock. Rock crushes lizard. Lizard poisons Spock. Spock smashes scissors. Scissors decapitates lizard. Lizard eats paper. Paper disproves Spock. Spock vaporizes rock. And as it always has, rock crushes scissors.
Okay, I think I got it.
Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. I'm not going to watch the Clone Wars TV series until I've seen the Clone Wars movie. I prefer to let George Lucas disappoint me in the order he intended.
Well, I want to watch it now.
Then I believe we've arrived at another quintessential rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock moment.
Watch whatever you want.
Okay, who gets the extra dumpling?
Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock! And one of us is going to have to stop putting up Spock.
How do we decide that?
Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock!
Okay. Sorry for the advertising. So, what is the problem? The problem is obvious. Nerds always choose Spock. This is a problem. I have an idea. I changed the rules. Maybe this would work better, because this is very nerdy. All of this: Hawkins, Batman, Darth Vader, Pac-Man, Spock, and then you have another game, and I'm sure it would work. So we can solve the problem of the rules if you think, in this case, it's a target group problem, nerd target group problem. Okay, another problem is we saw film, very famous 3 rules, the 3 laws of robotics from Isaac Asimov. we have 3 rules. A robot may not harm or injure humanity, or by inaction allow humanity to come to harm. The second rule is a robot must obey the orders given to the human beings, except where such orders would conflict the first law. And the third is a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second one. Okay, the problem, we know it, maybe you saw the film. The problem is that if human harms themselves, robots have to protect them from themselves and eliminate civil liberty. So normally you should add a fourth rule, but to explain a computer, an algorithm, what does this mean? Freedom, free will of man, and so on. Harming freedom is not enough. So you have to find expressions to describe what freedom means, because it's very diffuse and so on. So this, I think, expresses very good the problems with rules, with computer-based rules. So we have meaningful, and other rules, and I show you another rule, not a so meaningful one. Yeah, this is happening very often in video games. You are killing gods, but you're not able to break a wooden door, or you need a key, a small key to go in the wall. Or another example, very nice. Another example. You go into an abandoned ancient cave, but you find fresh products, or medipacks, or something like this. But to be true, this is not only possible, sometimes it's good to do it like this. It's because of gameplay reasons. It's not necessary that you have to be logical in reference to the real life, not always. Video game has not to be similar to the truth or to the real life. It has to abstract the real life. And this is what we are talking about, the willing suspension of disbelief. It must be logical in some way, but it's not logical. It doesn't mean it has to be like in real life. Okay, so the rules have one thing to do. They have to ensure that it's fun to play, and not that it's realistic or something like this. So I show you another example. Pokey showed us the quite same picture when he was talking about storytelling, or do you have to have storytelling or not. This is why computer games make us aggressive. This situation everybody knows, maybe. Yeah? Tetris is a game. If you change only one small rule in this game, the game is no longer exciting. And this is what makes rules make with us, and this is a reason sometimes we are aggressive, not because of killer games and such things like this, but because of this. Okay, what rules are? A little bit formal. They are instructions, they are context dependent, they require interpretation, of course. They can be linked together in a very clever way. Yeah? Normally programmers are very creative in linking together rules. But one rule can override other rules. If it's in a Boolean expression, it's okay. If not, we have problems or bugs or something like this. And of course, they can come in conflict together. And this is what we don't want to have, rules that conflict together. But what are rules good for? And the first, they define very formal, maybe the conditions that make a game playable. So we talk about playability, the conditions to win or lose, so goal-oriented games and the probabilities for every player to do so. And the last, but maybe the most important thing, is what we call the balancing. It's that you have to ensure fairness between the players, or the players with artificial intelligences and so on. And to show you a very, very simple example from what probability does, it's coming from the game theory, from game studies, but it's well known, of course. This is when you have to roll 2 dices. With 1 dice, it's very boring because you have always the same probability, but with 2 dices, you have the best chance after 50 or 100 rounds to get the 7. This is the best chance because you have 2 dice, and you have no chance to get the 0 or the 1, of course, and the worst chance for the 12 and the 2. Okay, so far so simple. If we look at play poker, poker is a very interesting game. I think it's not a gambling game because the rules are that you have the lowest probability in having the best cards. So if you have the best cards, you have the best chance to win. And that starts from above to the low. The lowest is 1 card, the highest card, and you have the worst chances to win. The matrix. I come to it's not really a matrix, it's just an idea, finding a matrix, because what we do is we try to find out what does that mean. I took these games to compare them on the elements of the game structure. From the view strategic games versus randomized games or random-based games. So this is very simple. Chess is on the one side because chess is only tactical. You have no random, you have no dice or something like this, no chance, no fortune. You have to be a very good player. Otherwise, you have no chance against an expert. And on the other side, you have dice with 1. This is 100% randomized, so you haven't to have expertise. You have not to be an expert. But this is very seldom. Normally, you find a very clever mixture. Clever when you have successful games. You have a clever mixture between both of it, between strategic and random. Maybe the percentages are not exactly, because this is a kind of guess I made, not very empirical. And it depends on the players, and yeah, that's true. The player types of Richard Bartle are helpful in this case, but I leave them out because I have only 20 minutes. Okay, so if you compare randomized gameplay versus tactical gameplay, you can figure out a lot of things, but I just figured out these points. The randomized gameplay has some pros and some contras. The gaming results can be unfair on behalf you're playing versus experts, but the expertise isn't important, or no player exercise or experience is required. This is good for more variety in the game, so you have the chance to have more replay value. And this is a very good idea to make it if you want to get newbies in the game, like World of Warcraft does. After every add-on, they try to get new target groups in the game, and they make it easier to play. Yeah. On the other side, the tactical gameplay, which is very important for strategy games and so on, or games like chess. But you must say the 100% fairness can be boring after a time. Yeah. In the case of a high variety, like chess or Go, which is one of the hardest games, I heard so, one of the hardest games ever, you have a very high replay value, but yeah, you have to structure the game in a very complicated way. And the poor strategy is only for experts, and the disadvantage is you have no chance to get noobs inside. You have to play noobs versus noobs. It's okay, or expert versus experts, but no chance to noob versus expert. So this is the disadvantage. Another point of view, and now Eric, I come to you, because this is quote a little bit. You figured out in games of rules of play, games of perfect information and games of imperfect information, which we could talk 2 hours about, because this is a very complicated field in the game theory. But just a little perspective on it. If you compare these two perspectives on behalf of excess or exercise, fairness and tactical play, you can see this with imperfect information, you have a low entrance for non-exercise players, and the fairness is more middle, and the strategic gameplay is more middle. But if you have a game with perfect information, you can see what the other player can do, yeah, like in chess. So this means perfect information. You have all of the information the other has. You have in all fields, you have very high, very high status. Okay, but not to forget, we are talking about some things like analog games, card games, board games, and so on. What's with video games? The problem is the most analog games, like board games or card games, you have to learn the rules before you play. Quite good or very good. You cannot play chess if you don't know the rules. No chance. But a video game, it's different. If it's good, normally you learn what you have to do. You learn the rules while you play, step by step. This is what you see here. This is something from Portal. But this is the game design view, game developer's view, to explain what are the rules. This is what we do as game designers. We write down the rules and much more. But the rules must be very, very exactly. But the problem mostly is how to bring the rules to the player, and not with an awful tutorial. He wants to start playing in the moment after he installed the game. So this is, of course, a problem, but yeah, we talk about playability. This is a very important challenge and a chance to get the player into the game. And we are talking about playability, kind of meaningful game. Playability is an emergent phenomenon. Sorry, emergent comes from Eric too. And it's a system of rules, the system of the players, and also randomized elements. And here we have the main problem. This is the replay value. Replay value means that the chance that the player plays longer or more frequently. We want to have the player in the game. We want him to come back. This is, for example, the problem with story-based games. We played the story, and this story is very linear, and normally we come back maybe after some years or never. But the replay value is very, very important from the point of monetizing, of course. So to find out how to improve the replay value, to be true, I cannot give the complete answer, the final answer, but I'm working on it. Give me 2 or 3 other years, 2 million research money, and no problem, I find it out, and then you get the metrics when I'm old. But what you can see, or what's really obviously, is that you get more replay value when you find a perfect mixture between this kind of, I called it transparency, this thing with the perfect and imperfect information. You have randomized elements you can use, but not too much. And of course, you have tactical gameplay, because the player must have the feeling that he is an expert, he's a good player, and with only randomized elements, you cannot give him the feeling to be a good player. So this this is very hard to find. That's true. But the good way is to analyze all the games, maybe starting with board games, because it's simpler, and you have the rules. You can ask But you cannot ask for the rules of a game, of a video game. You just can find it out while you analyze it. Okay, the rules of magic in my vision are that games reflect the reality, of course, in a way, but they are fictional. So you can do everything you want. But yeah, it must be logical in a way, in a very typical gameplay way, but because gameplay comes first, and then maybe the reality. Yeah? And the other thing is playing means freedom. You can feel free because you are free to accept the rules or not. Sounds simple, but games are fair, maybe fairer than the reality, because they are kind of democratic. Every player has the same rules, the same starter points, the same whatsoever. So you just play with your expertise, and to be true, in reality, this is not always like this. Every player has an equal chance to win, and it's just up to him if you have the chance to implementate tactical gameplay. And to be true, this is hard sometimes. This is a learning curve. These are learning curves from some MMORPGs, massively multiplayer online role-playing games, like World of Warcraft or World of Warcraft is not as hard. A lot of the Rings online, it's the blue one, and this is Eve. Eve Online. Is anybody playing Eve Online here? And you're sitting here? I heard so that everybody who plays Eve Online is, he's dependent. He's sitting years and years and hours to be an expert in this game. Isn't it like this? It's strongly true. Okay, because believe me, this is maybe one of the most hardcore MMORPGs ever. Yeah. So the summary, formally, rules. Yeah, they should be easy to learn. This is what we call learnability, easy to learn, and playability means that you should make a game playable and also meaningful in a way. Don't choose invisible walls if it's not necessary. Rules should care for fairness between players, the big problem of balancing, and also for replay value, or, as it always was, easy to learn, hard to master. Okay, but I will not end before I give you my definition of game design. You asked via Facebook, please, community, give me your definition. Did you get a good result? Yeah, pretty much. Would be interesting to focus. Yeah, why not?
But there was too many.
Too many, yeah, okay. Okay, this is mine. Game design means to make design decisions in order to invent limitations that give the player unexpected freedom. Okay, thank you very much.
That was a really good definition. You should have. You maybe won a ticket for that.
Yeah,
I asked the community to.
You can find me in the Facebook thread.
Oh, nice. Okay. Thank you very much, Linda. Thank you very much. So, does anyone have questions about the rules of magic? Over there.
A question that maybe will solve the problem. So, why do you give the replay value a privileged status? That would be my question. So, you mentioned monetization. That's obviously a very good reason for the gaming industry, how to resell the game more than once. But if we forget about the marketing end of the matter, then yeah, why do you give the
maybe
the
never
value
do? But
privilege
okay.
So that would be my question, yeah. And then maybe something that also came into my mind when I was thinking about the replay value. We have so many different genres of games, and what is then the replay value of a film and not an interactive film, or what is the reread value of a book? And that goes back, of course, to the first
reread
question.
value of a book, I think it's the same with a film, or maybe with a game, referring the story-driven thing. If you have a world, a universe like Lord of the Rings, or Star Wars, or something like this, it's more a universe that only a story with one protagonist and hero's journey and so on. But you have a universe, and you can tell in a universe you can tell a lot of stories. So you as a player or viewer, or a reader, you are in this universe, and you make friends in an epic way, maybe. So these books are normally bigger, or Harry Potter or so. You have a lot of people, a lot of characters. You start to love, and you won't miss them again. So Star Wars, to be true, more than 20 times in my life or so. Not every episode, more than 5, 5th, and 6th, but the universe is more than only one story. And the replay value is not only an economical aspect, it's also an aspect of creativity. When I make a game, what takes 2 years to develop, 200 people to make it, I think it's just, my vision, maybe my vision, but not only mine, to say I want the player have insight for more than 7 hours, or 8 hours or so, or 10. So this is the reason, I think, because that a lot of games have a multiplayer mode. Call of Duty, I think 6 hours, and you're finished with the campaign. But after it, you have a multiplayer to bring the player back in the universe. And on the other side, maybe you have I played the last Tomb Raider, and I have a sign. 30% played or 50% played, and I was lucky when I was around 60%, and then the story has been over, and I wondered what happens now, where the lost 50%. Achievements. Please go back and try to find out another mini game or whatsoever. But to be true, I wasn't interested, because the achievement thing works in other genres, as you say, better than in this one. So you have to find a good balance to, I think so, that you want the player to be part of your universe. It's possible.
Thanks. I'm happy it's not only the monetization value.
No, not from my side.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Linda right now? So, all right, then Linda, thank you very much again. That's about the rules of play.